love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light.
Luther Vandross, a voice that defined a generation of R&B and soul music, lived a life filled with incredible success and profound loneliness. Despite his fame and the joy his music brought to millions, Vandross often found himself in solitude, away from the spotlight. He kept his private life intensely guarded. What drove this gentle giant to pour his heart and soul into every note? Was there an underlying sadness that fueled his extraordinary talent? Let's uncover the complexities of Luther Vandross, the man behind the music. Early life. Luther Ronzoni. Vandross Jr. was born on April 20th, 1951, in Manhattan, New York City. Vandross was the fourth child and second son of Mary Ida Vandross and Luther Vandross Sr. His father, Luther Vandross Sr., worked as an upholsterer and had a passion for singing. This musical influence likely contributed to Vandross's early exposure to music. His mother, Mary Ida Vandross, was a nurse, reflecting a nurturing and supportive environment for Vandross's development. Raised in Manhattan's Lower East Side, Vandross grew up in the Alfred E. Smith Houses, a public housing development. This environment shaped his early years and influenced his artistic development. From a young age, Vandross showed remarkable music talent. By the age of 3, he had his phonograph and began teaching himself to play the piano by ear. Luther Vandross's life took a tragic turn when his father died of diabetes when Luther was only 8 years old. This loss had a profound impact on him, influencing both his personal life and his music career. Following his father's death, Vandross's family moved to the Bronx when he was 9 years old. This relocation marked a new chapter in his life, where he continued to immerse himself in music. His sisters, Patricia and Ann, played a significant role in nurturing his musical interests. They often took him to the Apollo Theater in Harlem and a theater in Brooklyn, where he had the opportunity to see legendary performers such as Dionne Warwick and Aretha Franklin. These experiences exposed him to the world of professional music and performance, undoubtedly shaping his aspirations. Patricia Vandross, his older sister, was a singer with the vocal group The Cress. She was featured on songs such as My Juanita and Sweetest One. Her involvement in the music industry provided Luther with a tangible connection to the world he dreamed of joining. Patricia's influence and support were crucial in his early development as an artist. Luther Vandross attended William Howard Taft High School in the Bronx, graduating in 1969. His time in high school further solidified his passion for music. He then enrolled at Western Michigan University, but attended for only 1.5 semesters before deciding to drop out to pursue a full-time career in music. This decision marked the beginning of his relentless pursuit of success in the music industry, where he would eventually become one of the most celebrated and influential R&B singers of his time. Music career. During his high school years, Luther Vandross displayed a deep passion for music and dedication to his favorite artists. He founded the first Patti LaBelle fan club and served as its president, showcasing his admiration for the legendary singer. This early act of fandom highlights his strong connection to music and the artists who inspired him. Vandross also performed with a group called Shades of Jade, which had the honor of playing at the iconic Apollo Theater. The Apollo was renowned for its influence in launching the careers of many African-American artists, and performing there was a significant achievement for any aspiring musician. Vandross's participation in Apollo's famous Amateur Night further demonstrates his early commitment to pursuing a career in show business. In addition to his performances at the Apollo, Vandross was actively involved in a theater workshop called Listen My Brother. Through this workshop, he contributed to the singles Only Love Can Make a Better World and Listen My Brother. These projects allowed him to hone his skills and gain experience in the music industry. The group's performance at the Harlem Cultural Festival in late August 1969 was a notable milestone, as they performed in front of tens of thousands of people. The Harlem Cultural Festival, sometimes referred to as the Black Woodstock, was a significant cultural event celebrating African-American music and culture. Following their performance at the Harlem Cultural Festival, Vandross and Listen my brother made their television debut on the pilot episode of the groundbreaking children's show Sesame Street. Their appearance on Sesame Street during the 1969-1970 season helped introduce Vandross to a broader audience and demonstrated the versatility of his talent. The show, which aimed to educate and entertain children, provided a unique platform for Vandross to showcase his musical abilities in a new and innovative context. In 1972, Luther Vandross made significant strides in his career by adding backing vocals to Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway's work. This collaboration marked one of his early professional engagements in the music industry, showcasing his talent and versatility. In 1973, Vandross contributed to Dolores Hall's Hallmark album, singing with her on the song Who's Gonna Make It Easier For Me, a track he wrote himself. He also provided another song for the album titled In This Lonely Hour. One of Vandross's notable achievements was his involvement with David Bowie's Young Americans album in 1975. His song, Funky Music Is a Part of Me, was rewritten as Fascination for Bowie's album. This collaboration not only highlighted Vandross's songwriting skills, but also led to his role as a backup vocalist for Bowie's tour in September 1974. This experience further solidified his reputation as a talented and adaptable artist in the music industry. In 1975, Vandross wrote Everybody Rejoice, a brand new day for the Broadway musical The Wiz. This composition became a significant part of the musical, demonstrating Vandross's ability to create impactful and memorable music for theatrical productions. Throughout his career, Vandross lent his backing vocals to numerous prominent artists. He worked with Roberta Flack, Chaka Khan, Ben E. King, Bette Midler, Diana Ross, Carly Simon, Barbra Streisand, David Bowie, Cat Stevens, Gary Glitter, Ringo Starr, Sister Sledge, and Donna Summer. His extensive work as a backing vocalist showcased his remarkable voice and made him a sought-after collaborator in the industry. Additionally, Vandross contributed his vocals to bands such as Mandrill, Chick, and Todd Rundgren's Utopia, further diversifying his musical career. Luther Vandross made a significant career breakthrough as a featured singer with the pop dance act Change, a studio concept created by French-Italian businessman Jacques-Fred Petrus. Change was designed to blend the disco sound with a pop sensibility, and Vandross's soulful voice was a perfect fit for the group's music. In 1980, Vandross's vocals were prominently featured on two of Change's hits, The Glow of Love and Searching. The Glow of Love, written by Davide Romani, Mauro Malavasi, and Wayne Garfield, became a standout track from Change's debut album of the same name. Vandross's performance of this song was so moving and memorable that he later described it as the most beautiful song I've ever sung in my life in a 2001 interview with Vibe. This song, along with Searching, written by Malavasi, helped establish Vandross's reputation as a powerful and emotive singer. Both tracks received significant acclaim and contributed to the success of Change's debut album, The Glow of Love. Although Vandross was initially slated to perform on Change's second album, Miracles, in 1981, he ultimately declined the offer. His decision was based on financial disagreements, as Petrus did not offer sufficient compensation. This pivotal moment led Vandross to seek other opportunities, which resulted in a recording contract with Epic Records in the same year. Despite not featuring as a lead singer on Change's Miracles album, Vandross continued to provide background vocals for the project. He also contributed background vocals to another Petrus-created act, the BB&Q Band, in 1981. These experiences broadened his exposure and kept him connected to the evolving music scene. Signing with Epic Records marked a significant turning point in Vandross's career. This new contract allowed him to focus on his solo work, leading to the release of his debut solo album, Never Too Much, in 1981. The title track from this album became a major hit, solidifying Vandross's position as a leading figure in R&B and soul music. In 1981, during a particularly busy year for Luther Vandross, he jump-started his second attempt at a solo career with the release of his debut album, Never Too Much. This album was pivotal in establishing Vandross as a significant force in the R&B genre. The title track, Never Too Much, became an instant hit, showcasing Vandross's smooth vocals and impeccable production skills. The song's catchy melody and heartfelt lyrics resonated with audiences, helping it reach #1 on the Billboard R&B singles chart. Another standout track from the album was Vandross's rendition of The Bacharach and David Classic, A House Is Not a Home. His interpretation of this song displayed his ability to infuse new life into existing material, bringing a depth of emotion and technical prowess that further cemented his reputation as a gifted vocalist. Throughout the 1980s, Vandross continued to release a series of successful R&B albums. His consistent output during this decade included albums such as Always for Love, 1982, Busybody, 1983, and The Night I Fell in Love, 1985. Each of these albums contained hit singles and showcased Vandross's evolving artistry and command of the R&B genre. His work during this period solidified his status as one of the leading voices in contemporary R&B music. In addition to his solo work, Vandross remained active in the music industry by continuing his session work. In 1982, he provided guest vocals for the group Sharma, demonstrating his versatility and ability to collaborate with other artists successfully. His contributions to various projects during this time helped him maintain a strong presence in the music scene and broadened his influence across different musical styles. However, Vandross's career was not without its challenges. Career challenges. In December 1985, he filed a libel suit against a British magazine that falsely attributed his 85-pound weight loss to AIDS. Vandross, who weighed 325 pounds when he began his diet in May of that year, was deeply affected by the rumors and misinformation spread by the publication. The libel suit highlighted the impact of media scrutiny on public figures and Vandross's determination to protect his reputation. In 1985, Luther Vandross discovered a young talent named Jimmy Salvamini, who was just 15 years old at the time, on the television talent show Star Search. Vandross was immediately struck by Salvamini's voice, believing it was perfectly suited for some of his songs. Seeing potential in the young singer, Vandross decided to reach out and connect with him. At that time, Jimmy was managed by his brother, Larry Salvamini. Recognizing an opportunity to nurture this young talent, Vandross helped negotiate a recording contract for Jimmy with Elektra Records, securing a substantial deal worth $250,000. Vandross also agreed to produce Jimmy's debut album, putting his extensive experience and industry connections to good use. To enhance the quality of the album, Vandross invited several of his old friends and prominent musicians to collaborate. This impressive lineup included Cheryl Lynn, Alpha Anderson from Chic, Phoebe Snow, and Irene Cara, all of whom brought their unique talents to the project. The result of these efforts was Jimmy Salvamini's debut album, Roll It, which was released in 1986. The album showcased Jimmy's vocal abilities and featured contributions from the notable artists Vandross had assembled, creating a promising start for the young singer's career. However, the celebration of completing the album took a tragic turn. After finishing the album, Vandross, Jimmy, and Larry Salvamini decided to celebrate their accomplishment. On January 12, 1986, a tragic accident profoundly impacted the lives of Luther Vandross and the Salvamini brothers. Vandross, driving his 1985 Mercedes-Benz convertible, was traveling with Jimmy and Larry Salvamini on Laurel Canyon Boulevard in the north section of Hollywood Hills, Los Angeles. Vandross was driving at 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers per H, in a 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per H zone. The accident occurred when his car veered across the double yellow center line of the two-lane street. The Mercedes turned sideways and collided with the front of a southbound 1972 Mercury Marquise, then swung around and hit a 1979 Cadillac Seville head-on. The severity of the crash resulted in immediate and catastrophic consequences. Larry Salvemini, who was in the passenger seat, was killed on impact. Vandross and Jimmy Salvemini were both rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Vandross sustained significant injuries, including 3 broken ribs, a broken hip, several bruises, and facial cuts. Jimmy, who was in the back seat, suffered cuts, bruises, and contusions, but survived the accident. Following the tragic accident on January 12, 1986, Luther Vandross faced significant legal challenges. He was charged with a vehicular manslaughter as a result of Larry Salvemini's death. Vandross's driving license was suspended for a year. The investigation into the accident revealed no evidence that Vandross was under the influence of alcohol or other drugs at the time of the crash. Consequently, he pleaded no contest to reckless driving, a charge that acknowledged his responsibility without admitting guilt. Initially, the Salvemini family was supportive of Vandross, understanding the complexity and tragic nature of the incident. However, as time passed and the full impact of Larry Salvemini's death became more pronounced, the family decided to take legal action against Vandross. They filed a wrongful death lawsuit, seeking compensation for their loss and the suffering caused by the accident. The wrongful death lawsuit brought additional emotional and financial strain to Vandross during an already difficult period. The case was eventually settled out of court, with Vandross agreeing to pay the Salvemini family approximately $630,000. This settlement was an attempt to provide some form of restitution for the tragic loss they had endured. Despite the legal and personal turmoil, Vandross remained committed to his professional responsibilities. Roll It, Jimmy Salvemini's debut album, produced by Vandross, was released later in 1986. The album's release was bittersweet, overshadowed by the accident and the subsequent legal battles. Nonetheless, it stood as a testament to Vandross's dedication to nurturing new talent and his passion for music. This period marked a significant chapter in Vandross's life, shaping his perspective on fame, responsibility, and resilience. Despite the adversity, he continued to produce music and contribute to the industry, drawing from his experiences to inform his work and personal growth. One of the most famous feuds in Luther Vandross's career was with fellow R&B star Anita Baker. Anita Baker was at the peak of her success in the late 1980s, following the massive success of her hit album, Rapture. Their feud began during the 1987 Grammy Awards, a night that left a significant mark on their professional relationship. The plan for the Grammy night was for Vandross and Baker to perform the classic Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell duet, Your Precious Love Together. They had rehearsed the performance and prepared for the live television broadcast. However, on the day of the Grammys, Anita Baker changed her mind. She decided to perform a tribute to Billie Holiday instead, and she did so without Luther. This last-minute change not only disrupted the planned duet, but also left Vandross feeling slighted and disrespected. Adding to the tension, Vandross did not win a Grammy that night, which only amplified his frustration and disappointment. The combination of losing the award and being left out of the performance created a significant rift between the two artists. From that point forward, Vandross and Baker found ways to avoid each other, maintaining a strained relationship in the public eye. Despite their feud, the music industry brought them together again. In a surprising move, Vandross and Baker ended up co-headlining a tour together, aptly named The Heat. This tour was an attempt to capitalize on their combined star power and perhaps to show that they could work together professionally despite their differences. The tour was a success, but the tension between the two remained palpable. Vandross's quest for Grammy recognition continued. Despite his immense talent and success, it took 9 years after releasing his first album for him to finally win a Grammy Award. In 1991, Vandross released Power of Love, an album that showcased his vocal prowess and deep emotional range. This album earned him his first Grammy Award for Best Male
R&B vocal performance, a significant milestone in his career.
Death and legacy. Luther Vandross's life, despite his immense talent and success, was not without significant challenges. One of the major health issues he faced was diabetes, a condition that significantly impacted his life. In addition to diabetes, Vandross also struggled with hypertension, a combination that posed serious risks to his health. The most severe health crisis occurred on April 16, 2003, when Vandross suffered a devastating stroke at his home in New York City. The stroke was so severe that it left him in a coma for nearly 2 months. This period was incredibly difficult for Vandross and his loved ones, as they faced uncertainty about his recovery and future. The stroke had profound effects on Vandross's physical capabilities. It impaired his ability to speak and sing, which were central to his identity and career. The stroke also left him requiring a wheelchair, further emphasizing the extent of his physical limitations. This was a particularly challenging time for Vandross, as he had to grapple with the loss of abilities that had defined his life and career. Despite these severe setbacks, Vandross displayed remarkable resilience and determination. Over time, he worked tirelessly on his rehabilitation, and his efforts paid off. He regained the ability to walk, a significant milestone in his recovery process. However, the stroke left lasting impacts, and he had to adapt to the new realities of his life and career. The 2004 Grammy Awards were a particularly emotional event for Luther Vandross and his fans. At this time, Vandross was still recovering from the severe stroke he had suffered in April 2003, which had left him in a coma for nearly 2 months and significantly impaired his ability to speak and sing. Despite these challenges, Vandross's song, Dance with My Father, was nominated for Song of the Year, a testament to his enduring talent and the emotional resonance of the song. Dance with My Father was a deeply personal song for Vandross, reflecting on his own experiences and memories of his late father. The song struck a chord with listeners worldwide, who connected with its themes of love, loss, and cherished memories. Due to his ongoing recovery, Vandross was unable to attend the Grammy Awards in person. However, in a pre-taped video segment, he appeared to accept the Song of the Year award. In the video, Vandross delivered a heartfelt message saying, "When I say goodbye, it's never for long, because I believe in the power of love." Demonstrating his indomitable spirit, he sang the last 6 words, showcasing his enduring passion for music despite his health struggles. Vandross's mother, Mary Ida Vandross, attended the ceremony and accepted the award on his behalf. Her presence added a layer of poignancy to the event, as Dance with My Father was not only a tribute to Luther's father, but also a reflection of the family's enduring love and support for one another. Mary Vandross's acceptance of the award was a moment of pride and emotion, symbolizing the family's strength and unity during a challenging time. The award for Dance with My Father was a significant milestone in Vandross's career. It was a recognition of his artistry and the emotional depth of his music. Winning Song of the Year at the Grammys was a moment of validation and celebration for Vandross, his family, and his fans. It demonstrated that despite his health challenges, his music continued to touch hearts and resonate deeply with audiences. Luther Vandross made his final public appearance on May 6, 2004, on The Oprah Winfrey Show. This appearance was poignant and emotional, as it showcased Vandross's determination to connect with his fans despite the severe health challenges he faced following his stroke in 2003. The stroke had left him with significant physical impairments, yet his spirit and dedication to his music and fans remained undiminished. A little over a year later, on July 1st, 2005, Vandross passed away at the JFK Medical Center in Edison, New Jersey, at the age of 54. His death was attributed to complications from the stroke he had suffered 2 years prior. Vandross's passing marked the end of an era in R&B and soul music, as the world lost one of its most distinctive and beloved voices. Vandross's funeral was held on July 8th, 2005 at the Riverside Church in New York City. The service was a testament to the profound impact he had on the music industry and the lives of many individuals. The funeral was attended by a host of musical legends and close friends who came to pay their respects and celebrate the life and legacy of Vandross. Among the notable figures who spoke and sang at the service were Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Stevie Wonder, Dionne Warwick, and Cissy Houston. These artists, who had known and worked with Vandross over the years, delivered heartfelt tributes, sharing their memories and the profound influence Vandross had on their lives and careers. Their performances and speeches highlighted not only Vandross's extraordinary talent, but also his warmth, generosity, and the personal connections he made with his peers. Aretha Franklin, often referred to as the Queen of Soul, delivered a powerful tribute to Vandross, whom she regarded as a close friend and a musical genius. Patti LaBelle, another close friend and collaborator, shared personal anecdotes and expressed her deep affection and admiration for Vandross. Stevie Wonder, who had collaborated with Vandross on numerous occasions, performed a moving rendition of one of Vandross's favorite songs. Dionne Warwick and Cissy Houston, both of whom had long-standing personal and professional relationships with Vandross, also offered touching tributes. Following the funeral service, Vandross was entombed at the George Washington Memorial Park in Paramus, New Jersey. This final resting place became a site of pilgrimage for fans and admirers who wished to pay their respects to the legendary singer. Vandross's death was a significant loss to the world of music. However, his legacy continues to live on through his extensive catalog of recordings, which remain beloved by fans around the world. His influence on contemporary R&B and soul music is profound, with many artists citing him as an inspiration and a role model. Vandross's ability to convey deep emotion through his music, his smooth and powerful voice, and his commitment to his craft have left an indelible mark on the music industry. In 2006, a year after Vandross's death, Bruce Vilanch, a friend and colleague, revealed to Out magazine that Vandross had confided in him about his private life. Vandross had told Vilanch, "No one knows I'm in the life," indicating that he was secretly living as a gay man. According to Vilanch, Vandross had very few sexual contacts and experienced his longest romantic relationship with a man while living in Los Angeles during the late 1980s and early 1990s. The secrecy surrounding Vandross's sexuality was partly due to the social and cultural climate of the time. Vandross was acutely aware that coming out as gay could have severely impacted his career. His target audience largely comprised women who found emotional connection and solace in his music. Revealing his sexuality could have alienated this fan base and potentially damaged his reputation and commercial success. Vandross's close friend, Patti LaBelle, confirmed this in a December 2017 interview, 12 years after his death. She stated that Vandross had many female fans, and he just didn't want to upset the world by coming out. LaBelle's confirmation sheds light on the internal conflict Vandross faced throughout his life. He was a deeply private person who chose to keep his sexuality hidden to protect his career and maintain his public image. This decision, however, came at a personal cost, as it contributed to the loneliness and isolation he felt. Vandross's private struggles and the decision to remain closeted were not uncommon among celebrities of his era, particularly those in the entertainment industry. The fear of backlash and career repercussions often forced many to lead double lives, concealing their true selves from the public eye. Despite his challenges, Vandross channeled his emotions and experiences into his music, creating songs that resonated deeply with his listeners. What do you think of Luther's lonely life? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Did you like this video? Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more entertaining videos. And do not forget to explore our other videos for more interesting stories and insights.